builders making moves, the projects shaping the culture, the unfiltered thinking behind it all. This is Let's Ride, the weekly podcast from BMX that takes you inside the on-chain world. Welcome to the ride.
Hello, GM everybody. Welcome to Let's Ride on the BMX DeFi account. Today, I am super excited. Long-term friend and person I've known in the space, Mason Lynaugh from Stand With Crypto is here with us today, you guys, who has been on the front lines of pushing for better regulation, crypto advocacy, you name it. This guy has been doing so much work to progress our space forward. And Mason, I'm so grateful and honored to have you here today. If you couldn't tell, I'm pretty excited. I'm an ambassador of Stand With Crypto. Have been working adjacent to you guys for a while now. So yeah, there's a lot of lore to dive into. But before we do, I want to pass it off to my co-host Deez to give our disclaimer and any BMX ecosystem updates.
GM, yes, excited to get into the intersection of policy and programming, if you will. But before we get started, anything we talk about today is non-financial advice. Please do your own research. And as far as an update on BMX, obviously all eyes on DailySwap. We're working on our final integrations with some of the aggregators to make sure that the experience is live on day one when people are routing through our swap aggregator. So they'll get the best rates anywhere using DailySwap. And then for those of you who are joining us today unfamiliar with BMX, we're a suite of DeFi products that is building sustainable DeFi. We have zero emissions. That means we're not printing any more tokens. The tokens are all out in supply and participating in the economy. So for those of you or anyone that are tired of chasing meme coin cycles or moving LPs around to go farm incentives, BMX DeFi had plenty of educational material on our X account to learn more about sustainable DeFi. Yeah. But let's get into this. Thank you so much, Mason, for joining us.
Welcome, Mason.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here with long-term friend Rachel. Yeah, we've been doing Stand With Crypto stuff for a long time, and then also with Beethoven here.
We got Beethoven in the house.
Yep. The legend Beethoven on a Zoom call.
Not every day you get the opportunity to hang out with Beethoven on a live stream, but here we are, you guys, and we're going to be diving into all things Stand With Crypto. And I know my community is excited. In the on-chain media community chat, I'm already seeing people post photos of their experiences. I see Kristen Kingsbury out there sharing a photo of an event for Stand With Crypto. I think Stand With Crypto has really touched so many people in this space, including myself. I've been to countless. I seriously can't count the number of Stand With Crypto events I've been to. And yeah, I just think it's something that's been very positive. And Mason, if you remember from our earlier calls when we first got connected, I was like, it just makes sense for people to support Stand With Crypto. If you are in the crypto industry, if you have any hand in this space at all, this project is positive for the overall progression of our space. So it was always a no-brainer to me. Supporting Stand With Crypto supports our industry. So okay, let's go ahead and dive in. So Mason, I want to talk a bit about you, just kind of giving an overview of who you are, what your story is, and, maybe a high-level TLDR of Stand With Crypto.
Yeah, happy to. And just to touch on that, like Stand With Crypto is nothing without the community. So all these events, the people that show up to them, we try to make it as easy as possible to engage, and we're grateful for everybody who does and who's part of this really massive community at this point. But a little background about me. The way I got into crypto, I was obviously interested in a long time, but in 2021. I dove in with my first project that I started. So I co-founded an organization called ATX DAO in Texas.
Yeah.
A DAO for the city of Austin. I am born and raised in Austin, and I saw the potential of crypto to grow the city, support local artists. I saw the ability for a community to cultivate a vibrant tech ecosystem, right? So Austin sees a lot of growth from tech, all this stuff like that, but I'm from Austin, so I was like, I'd love to see other people, like artists, win from tech coming in, and crypto seemed like a really natural way to do it. And so we were able to build this amazing community. We did a bunch of free concerts. We did a big grant program for a bunch of local artists. And then what got me to Stand With Crypto is I got the advocacy bug from working with city council and with the state legislature to try and advance some pro-crypto
Same
stuff.
here.
Yeah, so we tried to do a
Yeah.
DAO law in Texas, which is super fun. We tried to do we did some stuff with the city council. People were trying to launch a pump and dump Austin coin. Some outsiders were trying to leverage the city for that, and we were able to stop that, which was definitely something we're happy to do. But when Stand Up Crypto launched, they selected me as one of the founders to fly out for this first ever Stand Up Crypto Day because I was running this DAO in Texas, and they were going to connect me with Texas lawmakers, and I could explain how important our community is. You know, there's over 200 crypto entrepreneurs in the state at that point in time. So really, really important constituency, which is one of the big parts of the thesis that Stand Up Crypto is these voters are just so important for the future of the country and so important for the growth of like not only economy, but arts and innovation in general. So was really excited to be able to go to DC and explain why crypto matters, who these people are behind the screen, right? So lawmakers could understand. And after that, I got roped in. You know, I got invited to be one of the first team members of Stand Up Crypto. So started off part-time doing that with HX DAO, and then in 2024, I just went all in with Stand Up Crypto, and here I am now, being able to build this amazing community program. Like this has been this has been the honor of a lifetime to be able to empower community organizers across the country. So yeah. Really
Wow.
happy.
Well, Mason, that's just such an inspiring character arc. And I'm going to share my screen really quick and show you a little throwback here. You might remember, I remembered I shared this photo with you years ago. This is my one time I went IRL to collaborate with some of the ATX folks. And I have to say, the fact that you started out in Austin, the community out there is so special. I've been out there a couple times, and every time I've been there, they're just so engaged. A lot of folks who are, very passionate about grassroots community building. So it makes sense that you came out of the ATX scene.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the HX DAO. They're still cooking down there. They did a crazy event last week, like a giant community like fight night. It was huge. I think they partnered. There are a couple members that organized it with some other people in the community. So they're still doing stuff. I'm just really happy that community is thriving still.
That is awesome. And yeah, I know your career now with Stand With Crypto is taking you to a lot of places. Are you still like primarily activating in Austin, or you're more in DC these days, right?
So I live in New York. I go to DC like once or twice a month, but my specific role and what I do when I wake up.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about your role too, like what.
Yeah, like I mean, I talk to people across the country, right? So like there are some of the smartest, most amazing policy people in DC running these organizations, and obviously I talk to them and I support whenever possible. But the thing that Stand Up Crypto does that's so important is we talk to the people in all the 50 different states and at the grassroots level, right? So I am trying to identify, and empower community leaders in every state and help them grow their communities, mobilize, educate them about policy, and make sure that their voices are heard in DC, right? Like we're bringing the voice of the voters to DC. And so every day I'm talking to people across the country rather than people in DC. But obviously like we go to the Capitol, we do, meetings to show lawmakers who the founders in their district are. But it's really, really important that the crypto voter and the grassroots is given all the tools needed to effectively advocate for their interests and for the future of this technology industry and community.
Well, man, you are doing such an incredible job, Mason. I don't know when you sleep, because this guy, listen, you guys, Mason is so responsive. Like when he says he talks to people around the country, he really does. He's so responsive. He is very active with all of the chapters across the United States and now beyond. I know Stand With Crypto has expanded to other countries as well, but mainly, you guys are focused here in the US. But before we dive too deep in the weeds here, Mason, I do want to ask, for those who are new to Stand With Crypto, for anyone watching who's just learning about this for the first time, what is Stand With Crypto's mission in your own words?
Yeah, so just Stand With Crypto is a grassroots hub to empower all crypto users, builders, investors, passionate, hobbyists, everybody that cares about crypto, to give them the tools and make their voices heard on Capitol Hill. We believe, and I think we've been validated in the thesis, that this is one of the most, if not the most important new voting blocks and constituencies. These are people that are broadly open-minded, young, diverse, passionate, engaged people that care about the future of the country. And so we want to activate the over 50 million Americans that own crypto and turn them into very like civically engaged leaders. And we've been able to get over 2.5 million registrants to stand with crypto. And we've been able to have, it's over 1 million lawmaker contacts at this point. So we're trying to bring all of that energy and channel the collective will and the collective interest of that group straight to the halls of Congress and make sure that lawmakers know, hey, there are people back home that want to see you pass a stablecoin bill, want to see you pass the market structure bill. There are people back home that next year are going to show up to the ballot box and think, hey, did my lawmaker stand with crypto last year when it mattered? So it's really about empowering and growing the community and making sure that we cultivate this incredibly important voting bloc.
I totally agree. And in this space, you know, I've reflected on this a lot. And Mason, I think we have some crossovers. I actually worked with a city council member. I think I told you this in Berkeley. I worked with the vice mayor of Berkeley, who is also a city council member. I ran a campaign. We won a campaign and got him in as city council member, you know, helped him keep his spot as vice mayor in Berkeley. And, you know, through that, I learned like it is very important that we show up and work with local lawmakers, policymakers, and continuously educate. And also, like, you know, if you guys go to the standwithcrypto.org website, I believe there's actually a portion somewhere where you can see all of the politicians and like where their stance is on crypto.
Yeah.
Do you know, is that on your politician scores?
Yeah. So there's
This is
so there's
such
a
a
lot
great
of
resource, huge.
yeah. That's one of the big things we're known for, right? So like a lot of stuff I do is specifically about community engagement and growth and organization. And you know, we registered like 600,000 voters last year, so there's like huge impact there. But a lot of the stuff that really matters that people see as well, and what we get a lot of attention for is these scorecards, right? So we aggregate statements and votes that lawmakers or candidates make, and we give them a score based on how pro crypto they are. Rolling out a questionnaire soon so people can answer questions and make sure that they're properly scored as well. But this is super important for voters to see when they go and make their voices heard at the ballot box, right? Like you go to standwithcrypto.org, you see the voter hub, you see, hey, these are the people on the ballot. This is what they said about crypto. And you can make your informed decision about who you want to see in office based on their crypto stance. So lawmakers really care about this. Whenever there's a big vote in the Senate or the House, we send out a key vote alert and let them know that that vote will be scored into their scorecard. Some of the PACs take a look at this when they're thinking about who they want to support. So it's a real source of truth for crypto policy in general, which is really exciting.
It's also accountability, right? Because the crypto voter is becoming more prevalent in our political process. And it's a bipartisan issue, right? Something that impacts so many people. It doesn't really matter, like the party. But I'm curious if like this list has kind of like, I see there's a lot of strongly supportive people. Like, have you seen this become more of a supportive list over the years? Because we've definitely, I mean, I feel like the tides have kind of turned, right? Like there was a lot of, in the US, like it was a big fight for crypto adoption. Now I'm seeing so many supporters on this list.
Yeah, the 2024 election saw the largest pro-crypto majority in Congress ever. It was unbelievable success. The voters really showed up, which is amazing. And it brought us to a great position as we entered 2025. So we had this great bipartisan pro-crypto majority. And if you recall, in 2024, one of the big moments was there was a market structure bill called Fit 21 that went up to, it was a House vote, and it was very bipartisan. And that was a huge win for everybody, super exciting. But this year, we saw with the Genius Act and the Clarity Act, which is still working its way through the Senate, both of those had expanded bipartisan majorities. So the popularity and the bipartisan nature of this topic has only increased. The joke is that it's the most bipartisan topic on Capitol Hill, which is just, it's really good for the community and for the country, because this is a technology.
It's not Democrats versus Republican. This is a bipartisan topic.
Correct. Yeah. It's very, I mean, it's for the future of innovation in this country, right? So we're really glad to have a nice bipartisan coalition with this.
I love it. Well, thank you. And you guys, the Stand with Crypto website, I don't know, like there's just so many valuable resources here. Standwithcrypto.org. If you're looking to get more educated on this kind of stuff, this is the place to go. There's, they also put together templates for emails, for text messages. Like if you want to get connected with your local lawmakers and policymakers, all of that is possible. And Stand with Crypto just templatizes it and makes it so easy for you to become an advocate. So anyway, we'll come back to all this. But Mason, another question I have for you here is, how do you balance building momentum in both all of these grassroots communities that you've helped support and in Washington? Like, what does that balance look like?
Well, I got to give a big shout out to all the people across the industry that are working every day in DC. There's amazing policy groups, and the industry obviously is broadly every day fighting for pro-crypto policy, right? Our job is to help give all the voters their tools to work in the broader ecosystem of people advocating for pro-crypto policy. So there's a lot of work being done by a lot of smart, passionate people. I think the real important thing is not necessarily balancing the momentum, but making sure that the momentum is captured and like bottled up and sent to Capitol Hill, right? So one of the things that we've found very, very exciting about having this state chapter program that we've built out is that when there's a specific lawmaker in a specific state, or there's, if someone comes in, they say, hey, there's people in New Jersey that need to talk to people like New Jersey advocates. It's like, okay, amazing. We'll do a New Jersey rally. We'll get a bunch of voters to come out and show that they are engaged. We'll surface some incredible New Jersey founders that work with the state of New Jersey. They can meet our New Jersey chapter president. They can get like a one-on-one even interviews, whatever needed to provide the grassroots with that direct access to the decision makers on Capitol Hill. So it's more about making sure that we keep the community active, growing, and then a lot of these people are like, they want to do something. They want their voices to be heard. So it's up to us to make sure that they have the tools and they're able to channel it. And that it's hard, right? Like some of the times people's passion is so much that it's like, we're a small team. We're like, how do we we're like, go to the website and send an email. And it's like, that's not enough necessarily. Some of these people want to sink in their teeth to this, right? So we're like, this is where the state chapters matter so much. Yeah.
Well, this would be my advice, right? Because I connected with Mason and there was just instant synergy. Like there's alignment. I want to show up. I want to help with events. I want to do media. So the best thing to do if you're out there and you want to get involved is just show up. Like there are so many events happening, and we can also pull up really quick. Let me show around the United States all the events that are happening. And
yeah, that's a good point, right? Like we're doing something like 20 events a week now, and I think everyone in crypto understands that if you show up and you meet people and you talk, like connections happen, collaborations just magically happen because it's an industry full of doers, right? So it's a great point, Rachel. Like
just raise your hand, say, hey, what's happening in my community? How can I get involved? Who should I talk to about collaborating and supporting? And I can go through some of the photos here today and share my testimonial, my journey as a Stand with Crypto ambassador. But yeah, look at this. So in California, I think this is all the upcoming events. Is it this week or looks like for the month?
Next couple months, yeah.
Okay, next couple months. So in California, if you're here in Cali, there's 4 events happening, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. And then, I see opportunity in the states that don't have a lot of events happening, because if you live there, you can, get something going, like you can reach out to Mason, reach out to Stand with Crypto and see how you can organize in your local community and connect with your chapter. But yeah, you can see all the events happening at standwithcrypto.org/events. And there's a lot of amazing people that you'll connect with at these events, you guys. Look, even in Hawaii too.
Yeah, Hawaii, we have a great chapter in Hawaii, run by Ellen is her name. She's our chapter president there. And we're up to 49 state chapter presidents. So although some of these states don't have events at the exact moment, we're onboarding a bunch of people right now. So at the end of the year, we should have all 50. And that's going to be really important to have a point of contact for any advocate that sees a stream like this and is like, hey, let me get involved, and we can direct them to one of our incredibly amazing chapter presidents that dedicate some of their time and effort to the cause.
Yeah, and I'll show really quick just a couple of notable people from the community. Like Mason was saying, projects like this do not happen without the community, without people showing up. I see Valerie V. Dizzle at so many events, Cali Crypto. We had Jimmy come out to this event. So many incredible people in the community. This was a more recent one in LA. I was there with Humpty Calderon, Cali Crypto. And then, of course, we had our San Francisco Pizza Day event. This was so much fun. We had a big stack of pizza boxes. If you guys know Colin from Polygon, just so many amazing memories and good times. And I also wanted to bring this up, Mason, because I told you we had a roundtable around AI, and crypto came up during this as well.
Yeah.
And there's actually a partnership with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and Coinbase. We had a Coinbase rep there as well, with Representative Scott Peters of the U.S. Congress. So, there's conversations like this where we're actually having roundtables where they want to hear from their constituents and learn how they can serve their community better. So.
Rachel, you've been super you're a crypto entrepreneur, right? So she's signed a letter for the audience listening. She's signed letters, she's
yes,
and a direct advocate, someone that was
I've added my company onto some of those letters. Yeah,
exactly.
Like in support of Stand with Crypto.
Yeah, I mean, you are literally a crypto entrepreneur that's creating jobs in California. So you're the type of person that a representative needs to hear from, because we've made a lot of traction, right? Like a lot of progress before Stand with Crypto and the industry really started mobilizing. I think there was a lot more of a negative assumption about who the crypto owner was or the crypto voter, and I think it's broadly been that illusion's been splintered.
Yeah, that narrative has totally been shifted because of people like us, Mason, who are showing up. Also, I have to give flowers to Miss Nifty, Carrie, Miss Nifty. Oh my God, she is someone she's everywhere. She's going out to DC. She's all over California, going out and supporting her local community. And she is so on the ball, you guys. She's talking to local representatives, educating them, and helping to break down barriers so that they understand. And in California, I'm over the moon that this is happening. That you guys have really dialed in your efforts here in California.
Yeah, shout out Carrie, Miss Nifty, incredible chapter president. She's an elite chapter president, is how I would describe her, for sure.
Yeah.
We have some amazing people that are fighting for crypto out here.
And the Georgia chapter president too, man. He
I
really
could walk through a whole list. I got everybody pulled up here. Everyone's amazing, and it's just such a joy.
Yeah, and I also went to NFT NYC and worked the booth with this team. And there are so many people. I just have to say, this is a project that's so positively, rightfully so. It's just positively received by the community. A lot of people want to learn how they can show up and support. So, I am curious if we can kind of go over, Mason, what has been accomplished, what are the big milestones. I also want to give Deez a chance if Deez wants to jump in at any point and ask any questions too.
Yeah, my brain's just all operations. I'm actually scrolling through the Discord on Stand with Crypto right now and admiring the channels.
Let's go.
I would love to know if you're in touch with the ops team, how they go about collecting the energy, like you said, and funneling it, and what is the process of bringing people in who want to get involved in a sense on the execution standpoint? Is there a group Telegram with these chapter heads in it? Are there different what is the A to B on picking someone off the street and then plugging them in as fast as possible?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different distribution channels. The actual process of chapter presidents has been, we've gone through very robust searches actually, and even sometimes we send out intake emails to the broader email list looking for people to raise their hand and stuff like that. But I think the question about milestones, right? You can look at, I think the big ones, I would have three. We'll do one in 2024. I think that one of the big milestones was the Fit 21 vote. And, that obviously some would feel like it's old news now, but that was such a monumental moment because crypto at the beginning of 2024 was not really a huge national, political topic, right? Me and the team at the time, Nick Carr, who was he was the executive chief strategist of Stand with Crypto, and he was like, we're going to make this a national topic. And I was like, okay, I'm here for it. That's what I want to do. Let me know what to do. And we were working on that. And then just to see it, and I think it was in March, the vote was, no, it was in May. It was on Bitcoin Pizza Day. There was that incredible bipartisan vote, and that was just shocked the world, changed the world. Crypto became this huge bipartisan topic, and it became part of the election, blah, blah, blah. But then this year, I say the big milestones so far are obviously the Genius Act. We had something 100,000, 150,000 emails sent to senators about the Genius Act. Obviously, it became law.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we did fly-in.
Such a huge milestone.
We had direct contact between our founders that wrote letters and stuff to lawmakers. That was huge. And then I think the most recent milestone, and it's not legislative, but it's about the voice of the advocates. Sorry, I have a cat that's just going crazy on me.
It's okay.
Is the No More Bailouts campaign, which was about stablecoin rewards. The Genius Act includes a provision that allows for rewards programs for crypto rewards on stablecoins, and the bank lobby is not super pumped about that. They see it as competition, so they're trying to reopen that debate and block crypto users from getting crypto rewards on their stablecoins, which is something that's very personal to, I think, all of us on this call, everyone listening. I know I use USDC rewards myself, and so if that was taken away from me, that would upset me. So it's just broadly non-competitive, and it's not great, right? It's not fair, especially because it's literally a law already that everyone had input on. So that was a huge success. We had over 320,000 emails written to lawmakers from Stanford Crypto Advocates, which is the biggest campaign so far. So the next milestone that we're fighting for is clarity, but those are some of the three really notable things that have happened in Stanford crypto history.
I mean, those are all very huge. And I feel like there's a lot of like, those three things happen, but there are a lot of steps that were taken to get there. So there's a lot of wins that have been, over the years for Stand With Crypto, many milestones you guys have hit in between those. And speaking of clarity, by the way, I know Brian Armstrong, I see a little thumbs up bubble on your end. Speaking of clarity, I have seen Brian Armstrong talk about this as well. I saw some recent photos from DC. I just want to pull this up really quick and show our viewers and for our listeners on our podcast. Brian Armstrong said he met with 25 senators in the last 2 days, working to get market structure clarity done. So he's glad to report the urgency and momentum is high. And you can see here, the very, very clever marketing here on this T. Crypto needs clarity. I'm curious, Mason, what your guys' hand was in this. Were you involved with the Clarity T?
No, I mean, this is a Coinbase project, but obviously we work with Coinbase. They're great supporters. Brian shouts us out all the time, which is greatly appreciated. I'm sure that I know a lot of the advocates were super pumped about it, probably engaging with the content, but that's just an example of one of the great industry leaders, a great company, great executive there working for the community, and showing up and explaining why this matters to lawmakers across the political spectrum. This is something
Absolutely.
that everybody's coming together to support this, right? Blockchain Association, DeFi Education Fund, Solana, CCI, Digital Chamber. I'm sure there's a bunch of people I'm missing too, but this is a huge, like all the companies, Kraken, all these people, Gemini, all those folks, they care, right? This is a big important issue that unites all of us, hopefully, right? Because literally, I mean, I tell this to people when Stanford Crypto launched, and the move, like the motto and everything was about, we need common sense, regulation, and market structure, right? Like we were specific for market structure, and so that has been the mission, right? So we're still on that warpath, right? And I mean, I think it's never looked better, right? That's what Brian said too. So luckily we have champions across the country and in the halls of Congress. And I think one of the things I like to say is just expressing gratitude to the lawmakers who prioritize crypto, because it's obviously just such a busy job to be a lawmaker.
Oh yeah.
And like we used to be a niche topic. Obviously we're not. 50 million Americans own crypto, but it's really great that lawmakers understand that and they listen to their constituents and prioritize this.
100%. And it's thanks to work like what you guys are doing, and shout out to the Blockchain Association as well. I've actually interviewed a member of the Blockchain Association, so it's due to efforts like these. And I'm curious, like we've kind of gone over some stories of local chapters and individuals who's made a difference. Are there any in your experience where you've really seen efforts materialize, like from a chapter president or someone in the community?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad, right? Because I want to shout out everybody. I just think like a couple folks. Shelton in Arizona, he worked really hard with the Arizona chapter to get that. It was like a Bitcoin reserve bill in Arizona. It's not like a strict Bitcoin reserve. It has something to do with, unclaimed property and staking. But he was able to get that done with the support of a bunch of people in the community, which is awesome. Carrie obviously did great work spinning up the California chapter. I'd say the Atlanta Blockchain Center, Anthony is our Georgia chapter president. He's had such great dialogues with the
Shout
Georgia
out to Ant. He's incredible.
He does such a good job engaging with the senators from Georgia, and those guys have been crypto supporters when it comes down to the voting. So those are some great examples. Elizabeth out in Michigan does a ton of work. She's besties with the state legislature at this point. And Carlos in New Jersey has been super great, especially with the election coming up in Jersey. We did. Sorry, this cat is driving me crazy.
What's your cat's name?
Cat's name is Seven. But yeah, Carlos.
Seven.
Yeah, did some great stuff with. We had a rally earlier this year. But I could go on and on about these folks, and for all the chapter presidents listening that I didn't mention, I apologize. But
we love you all. We're like this engine doesn't run without every single person. So yeah, there's just so many to list here today.
I do need to shout out. I need to shout out Gil, Brandon, and like who else we did these. Yeah, Gil and Brandon both really helped. We had these block parties this summer. Yeah,
didn't you have like a rapper come out or something like ASAP Rocky or something?
Well, Big
like
Sean did. Big Sean did Detroit.
Big Sean.
That was a huge event. Elizabeth helped as well. Just such a huge success. But I do want to shout out Gil, who stepped up big time for the Baltimore event as well. But yeah, I mean, I have this whole list of chapter presidents here. Just like I wish I could go through them all, but they're just incredible people. I'm so grateful for their efforts and their time.
Awesome. And
yeah,
Mason,
I can double tap on the Shelton shout out. I've known him for years. He's been in the trenches forever. So
yeah, Deez has been to Stand with Crypto events as well. Like Deez has definitely been adjacent to the cause over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing I want to ask is what is on the roadmap for Stand with Crypto? How do you see this movement evolving over the next year? And what are the top priorities and challenges you guys are tackling?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we're closing in on that 50 state chapter mark, which is super huge. That was a big project this year, was building out that organization and that infrastructure. And then moving into next year, we're going to launch our college chapter program. We're very bullish on that. We think there's a lot of potential, a lot of great university clubs that are ready to get involved, and then a lot of universities that have students that want to get involved but don't have clubs yet. So psyched about that.
I've done a lot in that area. Like I think when we first got connected, I was working, with a lot of different university clubs and colleges around the world. So that's something that really interests me. I think education is so key when it comes to onboarding and getting mainstream adoption.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. But otherwise, I mean, next year is an election year, right? So it's a great moment for all of these crypto advocates to hold their lawmakers accountable, right? Like a lot of these lawmakers went into office with the support of crypto voters, and depending on how they voted for the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, all this stuff this year, there's a moment for like a report card review, so to speak, next year. So we're going to be mobilizing, getting the crypto voter very active. We believe that the crypto voter is one of the, if not the most important voter, and we're just going to show the world again that crypto is capable of, determining elections. I mean, we saw that last year, and then we're going to see it again in 2026, probably in a bigger way. So really pumped about that.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's going to be an exciting year, and we have all the state chapters now, so it's going to be very fun. Yeah.
I can't wait. And, I want to show, I actually worked on this little video. It's super short. I'll show you guys really quick. Just a little sneak peek of what it's like to go to a Stand with Crypto event. Let me pull this up really quick. Sorry, I got a million tabs open here with all the different resources. One sec. Just closing out my million tabs. Okay, here we go. So just a little sneak peek, you guys, of what it's like. And some of the people we talked about, Aunt Mathis is in this, Carrie, Valerie. We have got a lot of different people who are involved in Stand with Crypto. So I'll just go ahead and share this.
The
Can you guys hear the sound?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And we have the Cali Crypto Bear here, live in San Diego.
I know a lot of you have driven down here, flown out here, so it's pretty incredible.
STEM with crypto in general is really important for what we're doing in crypto because they're doing like the on the ground legislative push or like educational push for everybody to know what's going on.
Stand with Crypto is the voice of those people. I am the president of Stand with Crypto, the Georgia chapter. We have millions of crypto holders, wallet holders across the country, 2.1 million crypto voters across the country. This space has made a positive impact in their life, and they see the importance of it. They see what it can do for their kids. They know that their kids need to get a hold of this knowledge so that they can, be successful moving into the future. So for me, that's what Stand with Crypto is about.
It's trying to reach across the aisle, as they say, and bring in any of the political spectrum that happens to be supportive of crypto and highlight them. It doesn't matter what side they're on, making it less of a political issue. So my hope is that it becomes a topic that gets backed both ways. Right, and maybe there's just a bit difference of the way it's backed.
The event went amazing. Do not underestimate the value of IRL connections.
We're going to be doing more events in San Diego, SoCal. Stand with Crypto.
Stand with Crypto.
I love the bear voice at the end. So that's just an example, you guys, of what you can expect going to these Stand with Crypto events. High energy, high caliber community organizers. So I cannot suggest getting involved in your local community enough. And Mason, I know we are getting almost to our time here. So I do want to ask like a couple questions to just put a bow on everything. We talked about the importance of education, right? And why it's so important to educate lawmakers and regulators. And, I'm curious, we've talked about the topic of DeFi. I'm curious, do lawmakers know about DeFi and what does that process look like as far as educating them?
Yeah, lawmakers definitely are aware of DeFi. I think DeFi is super important to me specifically, and I think a lot of the crypto community because it gets to the core of what crypto is about, which is disintermediated finance, peer-to-peer, a new financial system, all of this innovation that could change the entire fabric of how humanity interacts with each other. So lawmakers are aware of it. I think there's a lot of education to be done, but there's definitely a lot of people that are passionate and care about figuring out the right way for DeFi to operate. And I think the best way to tap in with what's going on with DeFi is to check out the DeFi Education Fund. I want to give them a big shout out here. Amanda and team there, Jen, all these people are incredible and they're fighting for DeFi every single day. They testify in Congress. They're writing information, sending it directly to lawmakers. They're getting deep into the nitty gritty, doing hands-on education. So they are defending DeFi every day. I just want to give them a big shout out.
Well, at BMX DeFi, we love to hear it. Deez, I don't know if you have any comments or anything you want to chime in with there. He's a DeFi, I don't know, I would say like mad scientist, DeFi mad scientist. He really understands it and it lives and breathes it for the years that I've known him.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a team effort, and all the stuff that gets pushed through it really there's a lag time on the development side when you see, and so when there's official guidance or any kind of legislation that comes out or even that's working its way through, we look at that pretty heavily, when we're designing tokenomics, when we're thinking about how we're building forward. So no, it's just super appreciated the work that's going on because it does help dramatically for protocols like us who are trying to build future-proof products and be very wary of where things are going and design the tokenomics to mirror as such. So no, just appreciative of the work being done.
Yeah, and right back at you. Anybody innovating in DeFi has my respect. I'm a big believer. I just think it's so cool. That's the fun thing about crypto. Like, it's just so fun, so cool. And I love feeling the energy of that community, and I love seeing lawmakers even sometimes when it clicks for them. There's some lawmakers out there that are genuinely passionate about crypto. They love it.
That's incredible.
Otherwise, they wouldn't put so much time into it. But it's nice. It's a really good spot to be, and I think you guys have done such a great job of building products and building media and engaging in the community. So big shout out to everybody involved.
Thank you, Mason. And as you saw from the announcement, there was an acquisition of On-Chain Media, and I'm now building out the media arm for BMX DeFi. And, clearly, I don't know if you can tell from the blue, this is a very base-oriented project. This is a Coinbase Ventures-backed DeFi protocol. So a lot of really big things on the horizon. I'd say this is a very integral project in the base community. So I'm very bullish and excited on the future of BMX and the media efforts that we'll be building out. Okay, so Mason, I want to be respectful of your time here and just put a bow on everything. So lastly, for viewers and listeners who believe in crypto freedom, how can they get involved, and what kind of support does Stand With Crypto offer to help them get started?
Yeah, the first thing and the simplest thing is just make sure you go to standwithcrypto.org and sign up, because that's how we activate the community and, like I said before, channel that collective will, right? When it's time for lawmakers to know that a vote matters, it's the distribution that comes from that sign up, right? So SMS blasts where say, hey, it's time for you to write your lawmaker right now, get the emails out there.
I love getting those. I'm a weirdo. I look forward to getting those texts. It's like, okay, yes, now I can draft a message, draft an email. It makes it so easy. Like, because so many of us are busy in our day-to-day, like having that text just giving us a breakdown and like giving us a template to reach out, it's so helpful. Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad that that's the response that advocates feel. I mean, I find it very useful. I use it myself. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just baseline. Like, we need everybody's voice at these critical moments. And then for that next level, like, find your chapter president. You can reach out to me on Twitter or whatever. Figure out who your chapter president is. Go to a meetup. Just see what they want to do. Collaborate. Make friends. Just get involved locally, and things will start happening naturally from like a grassroots perspective. And then we're always here to support builders and community organizers as well. So definitely those two things. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Mason, we've gone through a lot of great information today. Thank you, everyone, by the way, who is tuning in. I see Gougy out there, Cali Crypto, so many incredible folks, Flannel Donut, Kristen out in the audience. Thank you guys for tuning in. The community keeps this engine running, you guys. So, okay, Mason, just to put a bow and close out here, any final message or words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the builders and advocates tuning in today?
Yeah, I mean, just going back a little bit to the emails and stuff like that, when advocates reach out to lawmakers via those types of channels, your voice seriously matters. And it sounds corny, but literally everybody that reaches out via Stand With Crypto, makes their voices heard, votes, all this stuff matters so much. Like, some of these elections, the crypto vote can have a decisive impact on that outcome. But even with these emails, one thing I didn't know is that lawmakers, when they get these emails, their staffers are logging, okay, how many people are sending emails for this topic?
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
So literally, like, even like 100 emails, which is very doable when you have so many supportive people, will change the entire calculus of a day, right? Like, you could have, if I was a lawmaker, you like, oh my gosh, my staffer's telling me I got 1,000 emails today about this issue. Well, let me think about how important that is, right?
It kind of, you need to give it your attention when you have that the volume of numbers reaching out to them.
And some of the numbers that the advocates are able to generate is just unbelievable, and they're numbers that advocacy organizations that have been around for decades wish they could have. So it just speaks to the reality that the crypto community is so powerful and can do so much stuff when they want to. And I know, shout out to the DGens in the Discord and everybody, they understand what's possible when everybody comes together. So it's the entire crypto community from like all walks of life, they all matter. And I'm just super happy to try and do my best to help them out. And I could always do better, but I'm here to support as much as possible.
Well, Mason, you are doing your best. I mean, what you've been able to accomplish over the past several years, I've seen you everywhere. I know your work ethic and how you show up, and we're all grateful for you, man. Thank you for the work that you do. And it's on my bucket list. I would love to go out to DC one of these days with Stand With Crypto and just help advocate and support with you guys. I've always felt alignment, through my own work and my journey in this space. And when it comes to media, right, that's another topic maybe for another day, but getting more exposure and education and awareness around this, that's something I'm very passionate about. So I'm happy we're able to do that today on our live stream. And it was a pleasure having you on, Mason. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thanks for having me. Good to meet you, Deez, and good to see you, Rachel.